You are now watching The Beach.
Welcome to Mario Kart Origins Knockout Tour. We'll be putting 2 Mario Kart games in the ring to determine which one reigns supreme. Our first fighter is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, widely considered to be the best Mario Kart. This fighter is also well known for his variety of battle modes, his wife Pink Gold Peach, and overstaying his welcome like a grumpy cephalopod. Our next fighter is the newcomer, Mario Kart World. He's finally ready to jump in the ring after 8 years in the dark. This fighter is a bit of an oddball. He breaks tradition to go with his own unique techniques. He is well known for being the first open world Mario Kart, having the cows drive, and having an affinity for that green stuff. Not that green stuff! We'll be determining which Mario Kart game reigns supreme. We'll be going over roster, gameplay, tracks, presentation, and content.
Don't forget the referee for this knockout tour, or as I like to call myself, the Jeffery.
The only caveat is that this will be base Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because the booster course pass is solely bonus content you didn't have to get. Some aspects still apply to the original Mario Kart 8 though. With that being said, rev up those engines and let the knockout tour begin! The first experience you'll have in any Mario Kart game is selecting a character, which is why it's the first category I always go over in an episode of Mario Kart Origins. Taking a look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's roster, it's pretty solid. Now the original Mario Kart 8's roster was abysmal, but with the inclusion of Bowser Jr., Dry Bones, and King Boo, it's definitely better. And I will say, having Gold Mario as a reward for clearing all the 200cc cups is really cool. The coolest thing about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's roster is that all the Koopalings are playable. Outside of them, there aren't many new characters at all. And when there are new Mario characters, you literally get Baby Rosalina and Pink Gold Peach. There are also the Nintendo characters like Link, Isabelle, and the Inklings. I don't mind their inclusion, but I do prefer the Mario Kart games just focusing on the Mario universe. Unless it's a Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix game, that is. Those games are made to be a crossover. I also love Pac-Man, so there you go. The Booster Course Pass brought back even more fan favorites, but all of them were returning from prior games except for Pauline and Kamek, who returned from Tour. Even not accounting for them, the principle of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's roster remains the same. It's a good roster without much surprising or new outside the Koopalings and the Nintendo characters. Mario Kart World's roster, on the other hand, you have most of the mainstays present. There are some glaring omissions such as the Koopalings, and all of the Booster Course Pass characters should have returned since they're fan favorites. But the thing is, most of the fan favorites are here. But in addition, we have what is the craziest cast of new playable characters in any Mario Kart game. Long-awaited characters such as Goomba and Pianta make their Mario Kart debut. You also have Hammer Brother, Monty Mole, Chargin' Chuck, and Nabbit returning from Mario Kart Tour. But this is where the roster gets crazy. A Mario Kart game will often have at least one what the heck edition, like Rob, Funky Kong, and Honey Queen. But what the heck editions make up most of Mario Kart World's new characters. Most of the new characters are ones you would never imagine to be in Mario Kart. Someone like Rocky Wrench, not too out there. But Pokey, Cataquack, Fishbones, Sidestepper, the Cow and Dolphin, Stingbee? Didn't Nintendo know that bees aren't meant to drive? My favorite new character is without a doubt Spike. I've been vouching for Spike to not just be in Mario Kart, but also Super Smash Bros. He's my new main in Mario Kart World, and if you see a Spike profile, you'll know it's me. Not only do you have the mainstays and wacky new characters, but also a ton of costumes for the mainstays. Some returning from Tour, but most are completely original. These costumes are an excellent addition, and I'm so glad they're in a major Mario Kart game. They're only for the mainstays, and Pauline and Donkey Kong got gypped. But other than that, they're great. I love Mario Kart World's roster because it includes most of the mainstays, but also has so many new wacky characters, not to mention all the fun costumes. The problem with a character like Pink Gold Peach isn't that she's Pink Gold Peach, it's that she was one of the few new characters in Mario Kart 8. But in Mario Kart World, You got the mainstays, you got the wacky characters, and you got costumes. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's roster is very play it safe, albeit good, but Mario Kart World's roster easily wins not just due to sheer quantity, but for how creative it is. Point for roster goes to Mario Kart World.
Pink Gold Peach this, cow that, Yorgie Schmorgie. Neither roster can compare to Sonic Racing Cross World. Now while you bird brains wait for Koopalings, I'll be eagerly awaiting racing as Carl and Sheen.
The Mario Kart formula at its core has remained the same since its refinement in Mario Kart 64. Your goal is to get first place while drifting, using items, and avoiding obstacles. But before getting into the gameplay, make sure to comment who your favorite Mario Kart character is. Make sure to subscribe as well, and also consider joining channel memberships. For just $2 a month, you get to watch videos early, join exclusive channel members streams, and get even more perks. It helps the channel greatly and allows me to keep doing YouTube full time. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has often been regarded as having the best gameplay in the series. At its core, it's Mario Kart. The formula remains the same, which is a good thing. If it ain't broke, there's no need to fix it. But you can enhance it, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did just that. The controls and physics are as tight as ever. With early Mario Kart games, it's hard to go back to them because of how loose the controls can be. Mario Kart Double Dash is a prime example of that. But ever since Mario Kart DS, Mario Kart games have had tight controls, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a refinement of that. Everything from driving to drifting and even braking feels perfect. Returning from Mario Kart 7 are the gliding and underwater sections. They're cool, but in retrospect, they don't add much outside of visual flair. Underwater sections just make the physics floatier and the pace slower, and gliding sections are just fancy transitions between track segments. For the most part, I still like them, but they don't do much to change up the gameplay. But Mario Kart 8 introduced a brand new mechanic that's the entire gimmick of the game, anti-gravity. By driving over an anti-gravity pad, you'll go into anti-gravity mode. The idea behind it is that anti-gravity would allow you to drive on walls, upside down, and make crazier twists and turns than when you're trying to fall asleep the night before a Nintendo Direct. The anti-gravity is really apparent when you watch the replays after a race, but in the actual game, there's not much to it. Sometimes there are cool visual effects, but really the main mechanic is just getting a boost by bumping into another player or boost pole. But that's pretty much it. The best way I can describe anti-gravity is that it's like putting salt on food. It's not going to change the entire meal, but it's a nice enhancement. In retrospect, Mario Kart 8 is essentially a refined Mario Kart 7. During the Wii U era, a lot of Nintendo 3DS games got Wii U counterparts or straight up sequels. Mario Kart 8 is no exception. Going from Mario Kart DS to Mario Kart Wii, that was different, especially with the bikes. But in Mario Kart 8, it's very much a refined Mario Kart 7, and that's not a bad thing. The only thing that it means is that Mario Kart 8's core gameplay doesn't have much of its own unique identity. Mario Kart World, on the other hand, is at its core similar to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Driving and drifting feels very similar, and considering how tight the controls are in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I'm glad they kept them similar. But everything else is brand new. We now have flying and wave racing sections instead of gliding and underwater sections. Flying sections are an evolution of gliding sections. They serve a similar purpose, but you can do tricks and barrel roll while flying. It's very useful to quickly change your direction when flying. It's great for accessing shortcuts and other paths. Wave racing, on the other hand, is totally different from underwater sections. You'll want to trick off waves and create more of them to jump off of. It's really satisfying and adds some nice variety to the gameplay. But where Mario Kart World really shines is with the new mechanics. You can charge jump, allowing you to jump on your opponents for a quick boost, or you can use it to jump on rails or walls. You can grind on rails, giving you a nice speed boost, and it's an excellent way to dodge oncoming traffic. And wall riding is really what anti-gravity should have been in Mario Kart 8. These new mechanics allow for the tracks in Mario Kart World to be more layered and have more paths. Most of the gimmicks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe enhance the gameplay, but don't do much to shake up the gameplay. But in Mario Kart World, all of the new gimmicks change up the gameplay and give it variety. I love all of them too. What separates a Mario Kart game from a regular racing game isn't just Mario. Did you guys know Mario is playable in Mario Kart? Nintendo didn't think we did in the Mario Kart World Direct.
Race as familiar characters like Mario.
But it's the items. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has in total 23 items. The classic Mario Kart items are here, but in addition, there are brand new ones. They were introduced in the original Mario Kart 8, but obviously carried over to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The potted piranha plant allows you to attack opponents and get a speed boost by chomping away like Pac-Man with your newly adopted pet piranha plant. The boomerang flower lets you throw boomerangs up to 3 times, and returning from Mario Kart DS is the Boo item, which lets you steal an opponent's item. The Boo item is new to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and was not in the original Mario Kart 8. Same applies to the feather item. You can use it to jump or to attack opponents in battle mode. However, it's exclusive to battle mode. There's also the signature Crazy 8. It's kind of a pointless item that just encourages you to spam all of the 8 items you get. I'm glad it didn't return in Mario Kart World. But the biggest new addition is the Super Horn. Did you ever want to just destroy that pesky blue shell? The Super Horn can do just that. In fact, it can destroy most items with it, and even attack opponents. It's a pretty rare item, so you're gonna be faced with the dilemma. Should I get hit by this red shell to dodge a potential blue shell, or should I just use it now? Really, there are just 2 items that reek in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The blooper is useless, and just prevents you from admiring the tracks, and it's way too common. And the coin item returned from Super Mario Kart. Considering you can only hold up to 10 coins, and that coins are everywhere, it's useless. It was a big problem in the original Mario Kart 8, because you could only hold 1 item, but in 8 Deluxe, double items returned, so it's not as bad there, but it's still the worst item. Mario Kart World has even more items with a total of 28. All the items returned from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe except for the potted piranha plant and Crazy 8. The Mega Mushroom also returns from Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart Tour. And speaking of Mario Kart Tour, we have a few items returning from that game, albeit refined to suit a console game, so I consider them virtually new. The Ice Flower is a really good new item. It's like the Fire Flower, but the ice balls make your opponents freeze and slide away. Remember,
Do not touch ice, for it will freeze you, but it won't freeze me. You must not grab the ice.
but the others? Oh boy. The hammer is similar to the boomerang flower, but it's very tricky to aim the hammers since they're thrown in an arc. A better way to handle the hammer would be having it function like it does in the Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix games, where you swing it around like a madman and can hit opponents with it. It's pretty much just a worse boomerang flower. But these next new items are the pits. The coin shell targets the lead racer, but it doesn't directly hit them. Instead, it leaves a trail of coins behind which you can collect, but also your opponents can collect. The coin block item gives you a few small boosts, and you can collect coins by hitting it, but it busts open at the end and gives your opponents the opportunity to get more coins. But the worst new item is easily Kamek. This is the only item in Mario Kart history where you want to get hit by it, because that's how you unlock the enemies. Unlocking the enemies is purely randomized. There's no skill involved. It's gacha bullcrap. I've spent over 70 hours playing Mario Kart World and still have 2 characters left to unlock. It could take less time than that for you, or even more to get all the characters. You'll never know since it's all randomized. This is easily the worst Mario Kart item in history. The new items in Mario Kart World kinda suck, but at least the returning ones are refined. The blooper is quite rare. You can now throw up to 4 boomerangs, and the Super Horn is a lot more common. The blue shell actually has more of an impact than it did in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, so you're gonna want to use that Super Horn for that instead of a red shell. But the thing is, even without the bad new items, Mario Kart World has better gameplay than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. All the new mechanics change up the gameplay in an excellent way, where they didn't really do that in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart World has the best gameplay in the entire series. It's exactly what I wanted succeeding Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Point for gameplay goes to Mario Kart World.
Hey, Demeech, look who came to watch the fight. It's Ulsa. Hey, Ulsa.
The main reason why you're playing Mario Kart is not just for Pink Gold Peach, not just for Spike, but the tracks. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has 48 base tracks, which included all of the 16 DLC ones from the original Mario Kart 8, and in addition, 48 with the Booster Course Pass. I won't be including the Booster Course Pass tracks for two reasons. Like I said before, they're bonus content, and considering how different they are, I'll be going over them in great detail in an upcoming retrospective of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. If Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is New Super Mario Bros. Wii, then the Booster Course Pass would be New Super Mario Bros. U. It's kind of like its own game. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has 25 new tracks and 23 retro ones in the base game. That's a really good amount, but how is the quality of the tracks? I've been playing Mario Kart 8 even before it launched. I first played it at a GameStop 2 weeks early, so I'm definitely what you would call a Mario Kart 8 veteran. But even considering that I've been playing these tracks for over 11 years, I still am blown away by how incredible they are. Nearly all the tracks are great. You would think that the Mushroom Cup would just be quite basic in terms of tracks, but all of them are memorable. Water Park, Sweet Sweet Canyon, and Thwomp Ruins all have some excellent design and theming. Even the first track, being Mario Kart Stadium, is unique with its stadium theme, and it does an excellent job introducing the mechanics of the game. But it gets even better beyond that. Toad Harbor, Shy Guy Falls, Sunshine Airport, Electrodrome, Cloud Top Cruise. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has some of the best design tracks with excellent theming. It's also home to Mount Wario, which is one of the greatest Mario Kart tracks ever made. There are also tracks inspired by other Nintendo franchises. Mario Kart doesn't need to be a crossover, as there's plenty from the Mario universe to embrace, but these crossover tracks are really cool. There are two F-Zero inspired tracks, which hey, if we can't get a new F-Zero, I'll take these, because they're an absolute blast. Although, I think the Nintendo Switch 2 will mark the grand return of F-Zero. Excitebike Arena is just pure fun, and even the Hyrule and Animal Crossing tracks are a neat addition. It's not so much the crossover aspect that makes those tracks great, it's their excellent design. The retro tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe have also been reimagined. Before Mario Kart 8, most retro tracks were pretty much carbon copies of their originals with not much new. But that all changed in Mario Kart 8. Let's take a look at Cheeseland and Ribbon Road. They took the best tracks from Mario Kart Super Circuit and made them even better. Ribbon Road now takes place in a playroom, and Cheeseland has chain chomps and gliding sections. Some of the retro tracks feel totally different. Toad's Turnpike actually utilizes the anti-gravity really well, and the Nintendo 64 Rainbow Road remake is one of the best Rainbow Roads in the series. Now the selection of retro tracks isn't as strong as Mario Kart 7, mostly because those retro tracks already appeared in Mario Kart 7 a few years prior, and they needed to have new retro tracks for 8. Most did return with the Booster Course Pass though I can't reiterate enough, I'm not counting them. There's just one glaring omission, being Wario Coliseum. Considering the anti-gravity, it was such a missed opportunity not to include it, but it's still a really strong selection of retro tracks. Overall, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has an incredible selection of tracks. There aren't even any real stinkers either. The only ones that felt a bit underwhelming are Bone Dry Dunes, Ice Ice Outpost, and 8's Rainbow Road. Not because they're bad, but they don't have as much going on in terms of theming and design. Now let's take a look at the tracks in Mario Kart World. There are 16 new tracks and 14 retro, bringing the total to 30. That's not a lot, but maybe the quality of them could knock Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's tracks out of the park. Let's start with the new tracks. Not only do the new tracks in Mario Kart World have distinct theming, but they're also more layered than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's tracks. This is because they take full advantage of Mario Kart World's new mechanics. Question Block Ruins is a prime example of Mario Kart World's layered track design. There are different paths you can take, and you can wall ride to a rail, letting you access an alternate path. These tracks do a great job rewarding you for getting skilled with the new mechanics. Some of my favorites are DK Spaceport, Acorn Heights, Faraway Oasis, Question Block Ruins, Boo Cinema, and the incredible new Rainbow Road. At face value, the tracks appear to be more basic than that of 8 Deluxe's, but the application of skill makes these new tracks even more replayable than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's tracks. Really, there are only two of them I'm not that crazy about, being Starview Peak and Cheap Cheap Falls. But even then, I still enjoy them. They're just not as strong as the other new tracks. Now let's take a look at retro tracks. Unlike Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, a lot of the retro tracks tend to be more faithful to the originals, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. but some are completely different. The long-awaited Wario Stadium 64 is actually great now. It's kind of like Excitebike Arena, but amped up. Choco Mountain also feels totally different, going for a Charge and Chuck Monster Truck Rally theme. And Peach Beach is now a connected track with a beach segment followed by an oceanside town. The selection, however, is not the strongest. There are some excellent picks such as Wario Stadium 64, Toad's Factory, Airship Fortress, and Peach Beach, but others are underwhelming. DK Pass, Desert Hills, Moo Moo Meadows again instead of Moo Moo Farm? The quantity is already low, so there's no room for mid-tracks, and there are way more of them than I'd like. I'm solely going over the tracks in Mario Kart World. That's not even accounting for the hundreds of pathways in between tracks. But here's the thing, the pathways are more often than not uninteresting. They are long stretches in between tracks and only really work in Knockout Tour. Personally, I'm not a fan of them when playing regular races because the real fun is with the actual tracks, not commuting to them. If Mario Kart World had more new tracks, it would easily beat Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in terms of tracks. The problem is, there just aren't enough tracks in general. Mario Kart World's tracks and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's tracks are like a fancy meal. The only difference is that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is slightly less fancy, but it gives you a larger portion and it's not even that far behind. With Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I was completely satisfied even with the base game, but while the meal of Mario Kart World's tracks might be fancier, the portion still left me feeling a bit hungry for more. And accounting for the mid-retro tracks in World, the point for tracks goes to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And considering Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been around for 8 years, 48 tracks really should have been the standard going forward.
I gotta say, every time I play either Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's or Mario Kart World's tracks, it feels like a great adventure. Let's go, Cataclack! Great Chucksters await! Skadee, 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 skadee.
Now we get into the presentation. I cannot stress enough that I'm only comparing art direction and not graphical power. Mario Kart World is 4K, while Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is 1080p, but both games go for a very different art direction. When I first played Mario Kart 8, it was one of the most mind-blowing experiences I've ever had playing a game. Seeing Mario Kart in HD was nothing short of amazing. The attention to detail in Mario Kart 8 is just unreal. Mario Kart 8 does an excellent job blending realism while also keeping that cartoony Mario charm, but it definitely leans more towards a realistic and futuristic aspect. Mario Kart 8 is a very old game at this point, but 11 years later, I'm still blown away by how incredible the game looks. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has the same presentation, but this time around it's 1080p instead of the original 720p. Even to this day, I'm always finding new things in the backgrounds I didn't notice. This was the first mainline Mario Kart game that Bandai Namco helped develop. If you look at the first two Mario Kart Arcade Grand Prix games compared to Mario Kart Wii, it's clear Bandai Namco was even more capable of making an impressive looking Mario Kart game than just Nintendo themselves, and I definitely see that Arcade Grand Prix influence here. Even most of the characters in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still look great. You can see Mario's mustache and hair flow through the wind, and there's a nice attention to detail. Now some character models haven't aged well, though that's to be expected with a game this old, but it's still a very impressive game to look at, and it was hard to imagine how the next Mario Kart game would top it. Rather than trying to top Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's presentation in terms of making it look even more realistic, Mario Kart World took a completely new approach. Rather than the realistic, futuristic look of Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart World goes for a more playful, cartoony art style. This is most apparent with the new character designs. Starting with Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Mario and friends have been redesigned to capture the magic of classic Super Nintendo era artwork. This is known as the Kotabe style, but the current artist Nakei's style is similar to it. Personally, I love these redesigns. We haven't had the Mario characters get significant redesigns since the GameCube era, and it's a perfect evolution for them. There's also a hint of realism with aspects like Mario and Luigi's denim overalls, but the characters in general are way more lively and expressive. The tracks are also more vibrant and colorful than the ones in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Some of this is due to the increased power of the Nintendo Switch too, but most is just due to art direction. For the most part, they look great. There's a good amount of detail to showcase the next-gen hardware, but still keeping that cartoony look. Even the visual details, such as with how bouncy the carts are, and the comical text when items hit, really nice additions. Another aspect that I absolutely love about World's presentation is that real-world animals have been designed in the Mario art style. We get to see how zebras, elephants, and even how buffaloes look in the Mario universe.
Where are the Buffalo Gales?
Whenever I play Free Roam in Faraway Oasis, it's like going on a safari. Going from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to Mario Kart World is not as mind-blowing as it was going from Mario Kart Wii to Mario Kart 8, but that's largely because of just how damn good Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still looks. Music, on the other hand, is going to be where things get really interesting, because both Mario Kart World and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe have incredible soundtracks. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe goes for the big band jazzy style that the Nintendo 3DS and Wii U era were known for. What can I say that already hasn't been said before? The soundtrack of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is outstanding. It's one of the best Nintendo soundtracks to this day. The sound effects tend to have a more futuristic sound to them. They're sleek and they sound good too. Mario Kart World continues the big band style as a general theme for most of the soundtrack, but with the soundtrack, it's not even a contest. Mario Kart World not only has the same quality as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but there are way more songs, many being remixes of songs spanning the entire Mario universe, even more obscure songs such as ones from Yoshi's Story, and even WarioWare. There's also more variety too. Rather than just going for the general jazzy theme, there's a lot of variety. There's even an EDM remix of Baby Park. Just like how the amount of tracks gave Mario Kart 8 Deluxe the edge, the amount of songs and variety in World give it the edge in terms of music. The sound effects are even better. They just sound a lot more fun and lively. Perfect for the art style World went with. Both Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Kart World have outstanding presentations. While Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was more impressive, Mario Kart World just has a better art direction. And the music, it's not even a contest. Point for presentation goes to Mario Kart World.
Me personally, I don't think this category was very rational. Don't you guys know that graphics don't matter in games? If you think they do, you're just unlucky.
In terms of content, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has 48 base tracks, as well as a few different modes. There are the standard Grand Prix, time trials, and versus mode, but the battle mode is the real highlight here. The battle mode in the original Mario Kart 8 is terrible! There aren't dedicated arenas, the arenas are just the tracks, meaning you'd barely interact with opponents and it was only balloon battle. But in 8 Deluxe, the battle mode got completely revamped. We now have 8 dedicated arenas and 5 different battle modes, being Balloon Battle, Coin Runner, Shine Thief, Bob-omb Blast, and the new Renegade Roundup. Your goal in Balloon Battle is to keep your own balloons while popping your opponents. I sure hope none of those balloons are borrowed merchandise. Coin Runners is the lamest one, where your only goal is to collect the most coins and avoid getting hit. But where things get really interesting are with the other 3 modes. Bob-omb Blast is like Balloon Battle, but with Bob-ombs as the only items. It's quite literally and figuratively a blast. Shine Thief has you trying to get the Shine Sprite, and if you can keep it for 20 seconds, you win. And the new Renegade Roundup has you catching your opponents with Popo Piranha Plants. The battle mode in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is one of the best aspects of the game. You can tell a lot of care was put into making it. I only have 2 critiques. I would have liked there to be a few more arenas. What we have are good, but it would have been nice to have a few more. And there's no option for a purely elimination-based balloon battle. When you lose all your balloons, you respawn. Personally, I prefer 8 Deluxe's style over elimination-based, so it's not a problem for me. But it would have been nice to include both styles. But if elimination-based balloon battle is your jam, Mario Kart World brought it back. But here's the thing, that's the only thing Mario Kart World's battle mode has going for it. Not only are there only 2 modes being Balloon Battle and Coin Runners, but the battle arenas are really lame. They just reuse assets from the tracks. They're still actual arenas, so it's not as bad as the original 8s, but they're just also too open. The worst part is that there are next to no options. In 8 Deluxe, you could change the time each round lasted, but in World, it's only 3 minutes. What gives? How hard would it have been to include that option? We've officially gone back to battle mode being an afterthought. I hate to see it. Mario Kart World does have new modes though. Knockout Tour is the real star. It's essentially a battle royale where your goal is to be the last one standing. Knockout Tour is a blast even with how chaotic it can be. Winning first place in Knockout Tour is so satisfying, and it encourages you to learn the mechanics of the game and apply them. This is a mode where the pathways work, but I still would have liked the option to have a Knockout Tour with connected tracks. Regardless, it's a great new mode. There's also Free Roam. This is where you explore the vast open world of Mario Kart World, which really acts as a fancy mission mode. It is fun doing missions, and they're quite varied too. You'll be clearing missions such as flying through rings, avoiding charging chucks, collecting blue coins, and even extreme time trials. The problem is, there's no direction, no story to tie everything together, not even a way to track the amount of missions or Peach medallions left. Only question panels. There's no reward for clearing them either outside of stickers. Come on, Nintendo. Collecting JPEGs was so 2021. Really, where the content falters the most with Mario Kart World is with the online. In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you just play tracks in worldwide lobbies. Simple as that. But in Mario Kart World, the online is an absolute fiasco when it comes to worldwide lobbies. And Nintendo made things even worse with the latest update. Before the update, you couldn't select any regular 3-lap track you wanted. You'd usually have to choose between 3 pathway tracks or the rare non-pathway track when that appeared. But there was a workaround to it. By selecting random, you could play a regular 3-lap track. But with the update, the dreaded pathways are included now, meaning that worldwide online is, oops, all pathways with a very rare chance to get a regular track. This completely ruins the worldwide online. It goes to show Nintendo really wants you to play the pathways, and you are gonna like them. They're so proud of them for some ridiculous reason. Wow, Nintendo, you are so proud of your lines. Who do you think you are, Charlie Sheen? It's also just too chaotic with 24 players and is often just not enjoyable. This could all be resolved with an option for classic 3-lap races and 12 players. But as it stands, the online is like a smushed McDonald's cheeseburger. It has a foundation for something good, but you won't want it after seeing it on the ground with the mustard and ketchup oozing everywhere. Mario Kart World has Knockout Tour and to an extent Free Roam going for it, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has way more battle modes, better battle arenas, 200cc, and way better online. Not to mention it has way more options. All of those and the higher amount of tracks give Mario Kart 8 Deluxe a point for content.
I definitely agree with you on battle mode lacking in Mario Kart World. Not that I want to. But they should have had a balloony battle where you have to put plastic on a straw and blow up your balloonies just like in Mario Kart DS. Balloonies.
Mario Kart World won the categories of roster, gameplay, and presentation, whereas Mario Kart 8 Deluxe won the categories of tracks and content. Mario Kart World won the most categories, so you would assume Mario Kart World would be the winner. But the thing is, the tracks and content punches in this fight hit so hard that it led to a knockout. At the end of the day, let's think about it. What's more important in a Mario Kart game? Having a great roster but a small amount of tracks and a baffling lack of options? Or putting up with Pink Gold Peach to play a Mario Kart game with way more tracks, way more modes, and online that wasn't designed by a parrot? Those two categories are the most important when it comes to a Mario Kart game, and in a lot of aspects, Mario Kart World and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe come very close. Both games have excellent presentations. It really could go either way depending on what art style you prefer. The real winner of this knockout tour is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. If Mario Kart World had more tracks, options, and battle modes, better retro tracks, and fully realized the potential of the open world, not to mention online, Mario Kart World would have likely won. But as it stands, Mario Kart World is a good game, but it's a bit light on content and lacks a lot of options. The pathways also just aren't a good addition to standard racing. Now in terms of value, you're getting even more value in just base 8 Deluxe for $20 less than World. If you are wondering though, how does Mario Kart World compare to base Wii U Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the Booster Course Pass? Well, I have the answer for you. In terms of the Booster Course Pass, ha! There's no contest. While the quality of the tracks is varied, you're getting 96 tracks for just $5 more. But compared to base Wii U Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart World for the most part is better. I really don't like when people say base 8 is a standard. That was 11 years ago, and base Mario Kart 8 did feel rushed to an extent. They nailed the most important aspects with the tracks and gameplay, but the roster and battle mode suffered. But just because a game released lacking 11 years ago, that doesn't mean it's okay to repeat it again. If anything, that makes it worse. Mario Kart World definitely has more to offer than base 8 did, but considering the 11-year wait, and the price tag, and following Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it was absolutely fair to expect more. At this point, Mario Kart World isn't a full-on replacement for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's more complementary to it, as it serves as a very different experience. With DLC, it could overtake 8 Deluxe, but if I had to choose which is the better game, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is king.
The winner of today's knockout tour is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe! But if it was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe versus my own game, Petey and Polly learned something about sharing, the fight would have ended before it started.
But just how king is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Tune into the next episode of Mario Kart Origins, which will be a full-on retrospective of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I did an episode for the original Mario Kart 8, but haven't for the Booster Course Pass. You may even see some of your favorite Nintendo YouTubers cameo in it.
Hey guys, Nintendo Land here. My favorite Mario Kart 8 memory is really kind of a combination of memories. It's really every memory that I've made with all my friends along the way with this game.
What are some of my favorite memories with Mario Kart 8? Well, I was one of the few people that actually got the game on launch day. Got it with my brother. Back on the Wii U in 2014, it was kind of crazy.
Special shout out to Ultra Bomber 64, FazFan07, Soshi the Yoshi, Generic Russ, Marcus TZB, Colin Wickham, Paper Brothers, Remu, Glitzy Terror, and Mevins2001 for being such awesome channel members. You can get a shout out at the end of the video too if you join channel memberships. So what is the best Mario Kart track of all time? Let me know in the comments and keep calm and dada on.